गौरांगो श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचदत्तात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो श्री राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिष्टो विष्णुपाद परमहंस सतर सचिशिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिष्टो विष्णुपाद परमहंस सतर सचिशिला भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिष्टो विष्णुपाद परमहंस सतर सचिशिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंस शिला गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिला सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवरे की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंदात्मक श्री ब्रजमंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय श्री हरिवासर तिथि बरा की जय। जय श्री जोगिनी एकादशी तिथि बरा की जय। जय श्री एकादशी व्रत की जय। जय व्रत पालनकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री अम्बरीश महाराज की जय। जय श्री श्रीवासांगने श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनकारी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदेहं श्री गुरो श्रीयुता पदकमला श्री गुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं सग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च शुद्ध भक्ता चरणरेणु भजनयोनुकूलो भक्ता सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमालोति करमूलो माधवतीति भक्ति जननी যতনে পালন করি কৃষ্ণ বাসতি বাসতি বলি পারামায়া দরে গরি গৌরায়া আমার যে সবস্থানে করালো ব্রাহ্মণরাঙ্গে se savastana heriboyami pranai bhakata sange mridanga badya shunite mon avasara sadajache Gaura Bihita Kirtana Shuni Anande Hridaya Nache Jugala Murti Dekhiyamo Paramayananda Hoy Prasada Seva Korite Hoy Sakala Prapancha Joy Jeti no grihe Bhajana Dekhi Grihete Goloko Bhai Charana Sidhu Dekhiya Ganga Sukhana Sima Pai Tulasi Dekhi Juraya Pran Madhava Toshane Jani Gaura Priya Shaka Sebone Jivana Sarthaka Mani Bhakati Vinoda Krishna Bhajane Anukula Paijaha Prati Divase Paramasuke Sikara Koroyetaha Shuddha Bhakata Charanarena Bhajanaya Nukula Bhakata Seva Paramasidhi Premaloti Karamula Jaya Madhava Titi Jaya Ekadashi Titi Jaya Madhava Titi Jaya Ekadashi Titi Jaya Madhava Titi Jaya Harivasar Titi Jaya Madhava Titi Jaya Harivasar Titi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol 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 Today is very auspicious day. I wrote there in the description to this Harikatha Yogini Ekadashi, according to Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math's calculation for Slovenia today. I know that in India they are having tomorrow Mahadvadashi, and tomorrow they are having Yogini Ekadashi or Dvadashi, I'm not sure, but mostly Western countries for tomorrow there is calculation. I know, but our Gurudev, he is calculating according to PM Bhakti, that is Bengali old Panjika, which was used by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his disciples. Our Gurudev learned from Srila Bhakti Kushum Shraman Gosai Maharaj, his disciple of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, about this calculation. But mostly others nowadays, they are calculating according to modern calculation. So one guru of another organization, he told to our Gurudev that we are using this modern calculation. It is like more precise. Then our Gurudev replied, but our Gurudev was using PM Bhakti because of Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So that is why sometimes there is some slight difference, but we have to follow our each Gurudev's own approach, and then Krishna will be satisfied. So that is why I wrote that Yogini Ekadashi, according to our maths calculation for Slovenia, is today. So on Ekadashi day, we have to give up all enjoyments, all sinful activities, and with all good qualities, means with devotion, we have to reside near Krishna. That is possible through service, through surrender, through service, and mainly by chanting Maha Mantra for his satisfaction and following the rules of fasting. Then we will properly observe Ekadashi, and you will get 1,000,000 times more devotional benefit on Ekadashi than on other days. So all devotees, they are following. It is one rule of sadhana bhakti to observe. Otherwise, Krishna will be displeased. Ambarish Maharaj was afraid, if I will not properly observe Ekadashi, not breaking at proper time, then I will commit offense to Vishnu. He will be displeased. So he was following properly. And Vishnu Bhagavan was pleased, so he protected him from even curse of such a great yogi and sannyasi and Brahmin as Durvasa Rishi. He was protected, and Durvasa Rishi, ultimately he had to beg forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj, because that was offense to Vaishnava. But Ambarish Maharaj was purely following Ekadashi. So we all have to follow. It is not only for devotees, it is meant for all, but mostly others, they will not be inclined to follow. In India, at least, they are following according to karma kant. They are being encouraged. They will say, if you follow Ekadashi, then you will get husband or child or fame or money, or your sins will be destroyed and you can go to Svarga, all these things, then they will be ready to follow. But here in Western countries, even this much faith they don't have. In Vedic, so you will not find. But devotees, especially, they must follow. It is one limb of devotion. If you don't follow, then you are committing all kinds of sins, including eating of cow's meat. If you eat grains and this on Ekadashi. So we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Eldest son of Rishabdev is Bharat Maharaj. Rishabdev gave him to rule this world, so he ruled, and he got wife and children, and according to Varna Ashram Dharma he was ruling. And then when his time came to renounce all that opulence and everything, he renounced and went to Haridwar in Pulakh ashram and was doing chanting mantra that I told. One is Brahma Gayatri and some other mantras from Rig Veda he was chanting. As I told that day, they say Brahma Gayatri is chanted by Brahmins, Varnashram Dharmis, for worship of Sun God. What this has to do anything with Gauriya Vaishnavism? That is true, because in Gokarna's case, he took advice of Brahmins and they gave him how to do Shraddh ceremony for his brother who became ghost, but nothing worked. Then he said, you give me it didn't work, you give me some other way. Then the Brahmin said, no, we don't know, but you can ask Sun God, we are worshipping Sun God. Then Sun God told to Gokarna he has to hear Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. Then he will be rescued, and he was rescued. But as we came to know, there is another superior realization of this mantra, that it refers to Narayan, who is residing within Sun, and he is giving all benefits, and ultimately Narayan means Krishna, and ultimately, as Srila Bhakti Rakkhak Sridhar Dev Goswami explained, it will lead to Radha Dasyam, even in Brahma Gayatri. So these are like general informations, but actually you should speak about this only with your Diksha Guru, and also meaning is revealed according to the degree of your surrender, and it has got no end. Srila Bhakti Vedanta Baman Gosai Maharaj, he is Harinam disciple of Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, and he took Diksha and Sannyas from Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. After him he became Acharya of Devananda Gauriya Math. So he told that when our heart will become pure, in that pure heart, the meaning of Gayatri and all these Diksha mantra will be naturally revealed in pure heart. So with faith we have to do like with the name. With faith, without offenses, then in purified heart all those realizations you can get. So here we heard that Bharat Maharaj was worshipping Supreme Lord with Brahma Gayatri and those Rig Veda mantras in this conception, to worship Supreme Lord, Narayan or Krishna. And ultimately, as I told, that in Vrindavan, Brahma Gayatri becomes Gayatri. So he was worshipping, but that and he was drinking water from river and taking fruits and roots in forest. He was living and doing bhajan, and he got pure devotion and all ecstatical symptoms we heard he had. But one day, one female deer who was pregnant, she was roaming around and she wanted to drink water in that small river, and suddenly one lion came and he roared, and out of fear, that deer, in order to save herself, she jumped over that small river, and because of the pressure, that child in her womb fell out, and because of pressure, and she also, after landing in another side, she went to cave and died because of shock, and everything died. Then that small deer was there alone. So Bharat Maharaj was thinking, if I will not help then who will? So I have to help, and he was taking care of this deer. He was thinking, last time we heard, the great king Maharaj Bharat began to think, alas, this helpless young deer, by the force of time, an agent of Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, this we did not yet hear, sorry. I will read what we read last time. That was another. Gradually, Maharaj Bharat became very affectionate toward the deer. He began to raise it and maintain it by giving it grass. He was always careful to protect it from the attacks of tigers and other animals. When it itched, he petted it, and in this way he always tried to keep it in a comfortable condition. He sometimes kissed it out of love. Being attached to raising the deer, Maharaj Bharat forgot the rules and regulations for the advancement of spiritual life, means sadhana bhakti. He forgot. And he gradually forgot to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After a few days, he forgot everything about his spiritual advancement. Here, Shilaisi Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj is telling in commentary, from this we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. We must rise early in the morning, bath, attend Mangalarati, worship the deities, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, study the Vedic literatures, and follow all the rules prescribed by the acharyas and the spiritual master. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down, even though we may be very highly advanced. These things cannot be given up. One should not think oneself very advanced simply because one has accepted the sannyas order. The activities of Bharata Maharaj should be carefully studied for one's spiritual advancement. Aho Batayam Harina Gunakah Kripana Ishvara Rata Charana Pari Brahmana Rayena Swagana Suhrit Bandhu Byah Parivarjitaha Sharanam Cha Mo pasadito mam eva mata pitaro bratri gyatim yotikam chaivo peyaya nanyam kanchana veda mai ati vishrab dhash chata eva maya mat parayanasya poshana palana prinana lalanam ana suyana nushteyam Sharanyo Peksha Dosha Vidusha. The great king Maharaj Bharat began to think, alas, this helpless young deer, by the force of time, an agent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has now lost its relatives and friends, and has taken shelter of me. It does not know anyone but me. As I have become its father, mother, brother, and relatives. This deer is thinking in this way, and it has full faith in me. It does not know anyone but me. Therefore, I should not be envious and think that for the deer my own welfare will be destroyed. I should certainly raise, protect, gratify, and fondle it. When it has taken shelter with me, how can I neglect it? Even though the deer is disturbing my spiritual life, I realize that a helpless person who has taken shelter cannot be neglected. That would be a great fault. This is how he was thinking. We have to get teaching from here. In commentary, when a person is advanced in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, he naturally becomes very sympathetic toward all living entities suffering in the material world. Naturally, such an advanced person thinks of the suffering of the people in general. However, if one does not know of the material sufferings of fallen souls and becomes sympathetic because of bodily comforts, as in the case of Bharata Maharaj, such sympathy or compassion is the cause of one's downfall. If one is actually sympathetic to fallen, suffering humanity, he should try to elevate people from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. As far as the deer was concerned, Bharat Maharaj became very sympathetic, but he forgot that it was impossible for him to elevate a deer to spiritual consciousness, because after all a deer is but an animal. It was very dangerous for Bharat Maharaj to sacrifice all his regulative principles simply to take care of an animal. The principle enunciated in Bhagavad Gita should be followed. Yam hi na vyata yanti ete purusham purusharshava. As far as the material body is concerned, we cannot do anything for anyone. However, by the grace of Krishna, we may raise a person to spiritual consciousness if we ourselves follow the rules and regulations. If we give up our own spiritual activities and simply become concerned with the bodily comforts of others, we will fall into a dangerous position. So you can be compassionate to others, try to alleviate them from suffering, but not only bodily, but spiritually also you have to uplift. Otherwise their suffering can never be removed actually. So that was the mistake. He only was thinking about the body, not about the soul. And also I don't know if at that time it was possible to uplift animal. Now in Kali Yuga it is possible. You can give prasad to animal, and you can give Harinam chanting and Harikatha also. Later he will be there, so he was doing this. He was hearing Harikatha and taking remnants of sadhu. So in this way it is possible also, that time. But he is teaching us here by example that this is cause of fall down if you forget your spiritual practice and spiritual upliftment of others. That is why devotees, they give prasad, but also spiritual books, Harinam, Harikatha, all. Nunam hyaryah sadava upashama shila kripana suhrida evam vidarte swartan api guru taran upekshante. Even though one is in the renounced order, one who is advanced certainly feels compassion for suffering living entities. One should certainly neglect his own personal interests, although they may be very important, to protect one who has surrendered. So this is Bharat Maharaj is thinking like this. Here in commentary, Maya is very strong. In the name of philanthropy, altruism, and communism, like helping others, people are feeling compassion for suffering humanity throughout the world. Philanthropists and altruists do not realize that it is impossible to improve people's material conditions. Yes, this is before I wanted to say, but he is saying here, material conditions are already established by the superior administration according to one's karma. You can be instrument, but if it is not in his karma, you cannot help anyone for material benefit. Like doctors, they try but if it is in his karma, that cannot be changed. So we cannot do much about material help. But spiritual help we have to give. Material help, how much it is possible, but in such a way that it leads to spiritual advancement. Otherwise, we will go down. But some who are immature devotees, inexperienced, they think, no, I will not help anything to anyone about material condition. But once Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was going from one place and with some household devotees, and there were some poor people there, and they were begging, and none of the householders wanted to give anything. Then Prabhupada said, no, that is not good. If you have to give to the poor. You should not think this is something against devotion, but also you should inspire them to chant Harinam, but you should not become hard-hearted. Then you will not be able to give to others, you will not be able to serve. So that hard-heartedness will come in your heart if you will not want to help others. So he encouraged them that if you have enough, then you can help others in this way also. That is not against devotion, and it is necessary. It is a part of your love for Krishna, because all living entities belong to Krishna. So this material help also we can give, but not at the cost of or in opposition to spiritual advancement. Our own and also theirs. So this karma cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to suffering beings is to try to raise them to spiritual consciousness. Material comforts cannot be increased or decreased. It is therefore said in Bhagavatam, Talabhyate dukkhavat anyatah sukham. This is from first canto, but Prahlad Maharaj also said same point. As far as material happiness is concerned, that comes without effort, just as tribulations come without effort. Prahlad Maharaj told to demon boys, his schoolmates, there is no need to give effort to get material happiness. It will come automatically. Like no one wants material distress, but it comes automatically. No one gives effort, no one wants, but it comes. Why? Because of past karma. Like that, this material happiness also will come. So you don't endeavor for this. Only you endeavor to serve Krishna. So here, again, we cannot increase or decrease material comforts of others. It is according to his karma. Only if we are as instrumental for his karma, then it look like we help, but we are only instrumental, not the cause. But that will never end. Material help can never end the problem. It can never solve. New problem will come and again and all this. So if really you want to rescue someone from suffering and once and for all, then you have to raise him to spiritual consciousness that he can be liberated. Otherwise it is not possible. So one should not bother for material activities. If one is at all sympathetic or able to do good to others, he should endeavor to raise people to Krishna consciousness. In this way, everyone advances spiritually by the grace of the Lord. For our instruction, Bharat Maharaj acted in such a way. We should be very careful not to be misled by so-called welfare activities conducted in bodily terms. One should not give up his interest in attaining the favor of Lord Vishnu at any cost. Generally, people do not know this or they forget it. Consequently, they sacrifice their original interest, means the interest of the soul, eternal bliss, the attainment of Vishnu's favor, and engage in philanthropic activities for bodily comfort. So, there is both sides this problem. We have to practice according to Yukta Vairagya. If you think only about bodily comfort, it is not good. But if someone will say, no, only you have to chant Harinam whole day and will not take care of bodily needs, then that is Falgu Vairagya, for yourself and for others also. So Yukta Vairagya, you have to fulfill your bodily needs and help others' bodily needs, but in such a way that it is favorable also for spiritual self. That is prasad and other articles and in favor. So you can help others, or you should help others, poor people. Yes, Prabhupada gave example that Mahaprabhu was also giving. When he was in householder life, he was also giving to poor people. Money, cloth and these things. Those who are needy, he gave. So you should follow his example. That is also there for householders. They should not be hard-hearted. So both you have to end this bodily comfort in such a way that is favorable for spiritual advancement. Iti kritanu sanga asana shayanatana snana shanadishu saha mriga jahuna snehanu baddha hridaya asit. Due to attachment for the deer, Maharaj Bharat lay down with him, walked about with him, bathed with him, and even ate with him. See, everything doing. Thus his heart became bound to the deer in affection. Kusha Kushuma Samit Palasha Phala Mulo Dakani Ahari Shamano Vrika Sala Vrika Dibyo Bhayam Asham Samano Yada Soho Harina Kuna Kena Vanam Samavishati. When Maharaj Bharat wanted to enter the forest to collect kusha grass, flowers, wood, leaves, fruits, roots and water, he would fear that dogs, jackals, tigers and other ferocious animals might kill the deer. He would therefore always take the deer with him when entering the forest. So now he is increasing his affection for deer. Patishu chamugda bhavena tatra vishakta mati pranaya bhara hridaya karpanyat skande no dvahati evam utsanga urasi chada yo palalayan mudam paramam avapa. When entering the forest, the animal would appear very attractive to Maharaj Bharata due to his childish behavior. Maharaj Bharata would even take the deer on his shoulders and carry him due to affection. his heart was so filled with great love for the deer that he would sometimes keep him on his lap or when sleeping on his chest. In this way, he felt great pleasure in fondling the animal. Here, in the commentary, Maharaj Bharata left his home, wife, children, kingdom and everything else to advance in his spiritual life in the forest. But again, he fell victim to material affection due to his attachment to an insignificant pet deer. What then was the use of his renouncing his family? One who is serious in advancing in spiritual life should be very cautious not to become attached to anything but Krishna. So, that is, if you get that attachment in illusion, in bodily platform. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed, if one is surrendered to Supreme Lord, then he will not see his house as his house, but Krishna's house, and all his family members as Krishna's servants. And he will behave accordingly with everyone in Krishna consciousness. In one song we are singing, Krishna ro sangsara koro chari anachar, jibe doya Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that you make your family life Krishna's family, Krishna in the center, then it is okay. And mercy to all jivas and Krishna Nam, that is the essence of all dharma. You will find in Jaiva Dharma also Vijay Kumar and Brajanath, two aspirants. They were coming to hear from Raghunath Das Babaji. He was their guru. So Vijay Kumar, he was elderly, he was already married, but Brajanath was young, not married. But his family started to make plans to make him married. But he did not want, because he is thinking, this will be not good for my spiritual advancement. So then one time they asked Gurudev what to do. Then he said, to you make your family life Krishna's family, then it will be okay. To renounce, that is not so easy. You need bhava stage to renounce. And he told many associates of Mahaprabhu, they were in household life, so you should not think of it. But you make your family life Krishna centered, means with proper conception. This is my advice. So he married then Brajanath, and Vijay Kumar already he was married, and they did bhajan. And then when after they went to Puri, then they learned more about bhajan. Then, because he was already old, that Vijay Kumar, he became Babaji in Puri, and Brajanath was doing bhajan in Navadip, in household life. Both became pure devotees. Only to give example, like they were there. So if he left wife, children, kingdom, everything, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not leave. Only he had proper vision. But if someone is called for preaching, then he may renounce, and in appropriate way. And that is why also our Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj told that Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj, he was empowered and ordered to preach all over the world. So he needed some men to help him in printing books, distributing typing, all these things. So he took them from the house, and they were like full-time devotees engaged, because he needed that, because he was very anxious for preaching, he needed. So he took them from the house. But many of them later, after his disappearance, they married and did bhajan, because it is like in war, our Bharati Maharaj told. If there is war, then maybe not all are professional soldiers. You don't have enough, so you have to take anyone. In the army, you just give them gun and they will shoot. Something is better than nothing. So like that, Sai Maharaj, he collected so many, and they were working very hard for his mission to spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world. So they did their service and their sacrifice and everything. That is why he did not allow them to remain in household life and do bhajan in house life, because he needed them for that. And our Bhakti Sansara Thakur, he himself explained, because in India before there was no need. In every house they could do bhajan, but after, due to foreign culture influence, it was difficult to do in house. So he made this smart system for those, they are not fully pure souls, but they have inclination to serve, and in house is difficult to do, so he made mat system. And also he also was preaching all over India. He had to have many assistants for all the preaching work he did. It was successful, so by his power they were empowered and there was no problem, like Srila Bhaktan. But after disappearance, then some new arrangement is there. So here Srila Bhaktan was saying, sometimes in order to preach we have to accept many material activities, but we should remember that everything is for Krishna. If we remember this, there is no chance of our being victimized by material activities, like printing and going to shop and so many things we have to do. But if target is correct, then it is okay. But here the teaching is, he became so much attached to this deer on the bodily platform and he gave up spiritual practice. That was the problem. Kriyayam nirvartya manayam antarale pyutayotaya yadainam abhichakshita tarhi vava savarshapati prakriti stena manasa tasma shisha ashaste swasti stat vatsate sarvataiti. When Maharaj Bharat was actually worshipping the Lord or was engaged in some ritualistic ceremony, although his activities were unfinished, he would still, at intervals, get up and see where the deer was. In this way he would look for him, and when he could see that the deer was comfortably situated, his mind and heart would be very satisfied, and he would bestow his blessings upon the deer, saying, "My dear calf," his baby, "may you be happy in all respects." So even while he was doing some sadhana, that was before he totally gave up, he was doing, but he did not finish. Already he was looking what he is doing, and his attention went there. Or nowadays we are chanting and then we are seeing mobile phone or doing this or like this, so many things doing. Attention is going other place. That is not good, because no taste in chanting. Those who have taste, naturally they have attention by nature. But if we are not on that stage, Ruchi, then we have to practice this attention and not to divert mind here and there, either grossly or subtly, should try to concentrate. That is practice, because that is for the service of Krishna. Servant of Krishna should be attentive to his master. That is why one offense to the name is to be inattentive while chanting. Means that you are thinking something else while chanting. One is unknowingly, your mind wanders somewhere. That is by nature of mind. That is not like directly offense, because it is on that stage. But we have to practice concentration, bring back mind like this. But if we willingly, like while chanting, we start to make some plans or do some other work in between while chanting like this, then that is offense. You should not willingly, that is offense to Harinam, you will not get prem. It is displeasing. Like if some guest comes to your house, if you are not giving attention to him, then what is the use of inviting him like this? So like that, when we are chanting Mahamantra, Krishna's name, then we have to be attentive. We have to try. When mind wanders, then we have to try. But if willingly we do something else, then that is offense. Our Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, he made a rule for his disciples that you chant attentively Harinam, Japa, and if you will speak something with someone while you are chanting, then you have to start that round again. Then they were very careful, because that round will not count, and then how they will chant their fixed round. So they were very attentive, careful not to do other things and not to speak with others while chanting. That is very good. But sometimes if it is like something very urgent and necessary for the service, some superior devotee or something he tells you, then you should, if for that service you can speak, but not unnecessarily, gossip or seeing mobile or internet or like this. No. Then that will be inattentiveness. Like same as if you do deity worship, then it is offense to go out before you finish. Only in case your guru calls you or some superior pure devotee calls you, then you have to come out and you have to attend, and they will say, okay, you first finish puja, then you come. It's something urgent. Or immediately you have to do that service. Only in that case, but not in ordinary case it will be offense. Like with chanting also. If not necessary, something urgent, and for the service of Krishna, then you should not speak or do other things during chanting. It is jap. Jap means you have to meditate. Anyada brisham udvigna mana nashta dravina iva kripana sakarunam iti no ati tarshena harina kunaka viraha vihvala hridaya santapas tam eva nushochan kila kashmalam mahat abhirambita iti hovacha. If Bharat Maharaj sometimes could not see the deer, his mind would be very agitated. He would become like a miser who, having obtained some riches, had lost them and had then become very unhappy. When the deer was gone, he would be filled with anxiety and would lament due to separation. Thus he would become illusioned and speak as follows. This is very nice now description, but I will start tomorrow. Very nice description how he was thinking, and lamenting and separation fully became absorbed. And because of that, he got that result. He's teaching us by example that we should not do this. Even in household life, if you are attached to your wife or to your children, thinking mine and for me, then that will also destroy your spiritual life. Or if you are renounced ascetic, even that if you are attached to anything, then that is not good. Only we have to think of Krishna and service of Krishna and see everything and everyone in relation to Krishna and behave in that way. Then we can progress in spiritual life, otherwise not. It is not so easy, bhajan. If you read the lives of great devotees, how much they had to sacrifice and how they were practicing, we have to know. But at least this is our good fortune, that in this age of Kali, it is full of faults. By nature, by environment, by everything is full of faults. But the easiest process is given to chant Harinam loudly, and with other devotees you will get more strength loudly. And but this is the difficulty. It should be without offenses. We have to know what are the offenses. We should not criticize devotees, Guru, Shastra, have misconception about the name, all this, maintain I and mine. And also this we have to be careful to not be inattentive willingly. And even if you are chanting and your mind is going somewhere, it is like some hazy thing, that is also not pure. You are not willingly inattentive, and also you are not absorbed in some thoughts like this, but that is also not devotion. It is not pure name, because pure name is with your relation with Krishna. Like if you do for other purposes, that is namaparat. If you do for liberation, there is no material desires, and that will be nama bhas. No material desires and also no relation with Krishna, that is nama bhas. But with material desires, that is namaparat. But pure name is with relation with Krishna, that you are his eternal servant. If you are his eternal servant, then it should be for his satisfaction. And servant is always attentive to his master. So unless we practice this attentiveness, it will also not be pure name. We may not think so much other things, but if we are not trying to concentrate on Krishna while chanting, that is also not devotion to Krishna. It will not be pure name. So this we have to practice very easy, chanting. But chanting should be properly done with devotion, with relation for Krishna satisfaction. Then we can advance. We can get higher taste and remove our anarthas and ultimately go to Golok Vrindavan with this offenseless chanting, means with devotion to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bolo, 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 Hari Bolo. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchadatatmak Shri Gaura Hri ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Nayananath Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Gaura Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Dev ki Jai. Jai Patit Pavan Shila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Param Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guruvare ki Jai. Jai Shri Panchatattva Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Brinda Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashana Kari Shri Nri Shingadev ki Jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Shri Harivasar Titi Bara ki Jai. Jai Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Thank you all. Dandavat Pranam. Hari Bol.